It's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in. Save him!
Oh geez, stick to the plane!
Oh Jesus, let's go. Oh my god.
Oh, just keep spawning.
More spawning! I don't think you can cast with that shit.
Oh my unit, Leroy.
It's not my fault.
Who's soul stoned?
At least I have chicken.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and oh boy, this is probably the most cringe thing I've ever seen.
Nani?
I got one question for you. What are those?
Game over.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Now, a lot of people wonder, why do you continue to catalog the absolute disaster that is Batwoman, and to a lesser extent, Supergirl? And to be honest, it's kind of complicated. As Tim Pool might say, it's complicated. But for me, it's not necessarily that the shows are bad and that I'm personally offended by a bad Supergirl show or a bad Batwoman show. I don't care. I don't watch these shows very often. I watch them for material, if at all, and their existence doesn't hurt me at all. In fact, the shows still have tens of fans that enjoy them, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're watching this video and you actually unironically enjoy Batwoman or Supergirl for all of its flaws, in spite of all of its flaws, screw me, right? Like, who cares? Enjoy your shows. And I really, really mean that. I don't want people to feel bad for enjoying bad television. There are a lot of bad shows that I still enjoy. And, well, heck, a lot of 90s television that I'm still nostalgic about is probably, by today's standards, pretty terrible. But I'm mostly interested in the fact that these shows exist to check a box, to make a statement. And they are constantly propped up by mainstream media and big tech. Let me give you an example for Batwoman, okay? I never signed up for any of this. I mean, it's probably because I talk about it, but here's what happens every Sunday. I get a Google notification telling me, new episode of Batwoman tonight. If you go to Twitter on Sundays, they're paying for or artificially trending Batwoman worldwide. And when you go into the trends, there's hardly anybody talking about it. But for whatever reason, it's at the top of Twitter moments. It's got one or two trending things on the right tab. And part of that might be because I talk about it again, but I don't really, I mean, very rarely, especially on my personal Twitter account, definitely never do. And it's just weird to me that media continues to prop up trash television, but it's for a reason. It's because it has not just a message, but the correct message. Let me just give you a perfect example, okay? IGN put out a tweet on the 17th. That was the day after last week's episode, titled, Batwoman delivers its best episode yet, as lingering effects of crisis bring new pain to the Kane family. 7.3 million followers, 600 likes. Let me give you let's just peruse through the comments. Oh, here's Lofty Pixels at the top for me. 191 likes out of 7 million followers. That was on the 17th. Imagine wasting this much time writing an article. Absolutely horrid show. Kate Kane, the LGBT community, the Bat Family legacy, and the Arrowverse deserve better than this garbage. Is anyone even watching the show? People who have never watched a good show think this is a good show. And it's the writing, ultimately, that makes these shows so bad. And for Supergirl's sake, it's obviously got, I mean, these shows, I don't know. I mean, clearly, I guess I don't understand girl power, but, you know, why is girl power nowadays seems to always be at the expense of males? The famous Batwoman line, like, oh, the suit is absolute perfection when it fits a woman. Like, just so cringe. And like, who does this resonate with? Well, nobody. Let's just take a look at the most recent season 5 ratings. Let's look at Supergirl, for example. Now, this show, I think, suffers from some horrendous writing. But it started the season with 1.263 million viewers. Last week, 650,000. It has lost 50% of its viewers. 50%. Not even the people that are, I mean, what are we on? Season 5. Season 5 of this show. And you're just hemorrhaging viewers. Why do you think that that is? I mean, the show isn't that great. And ultimately, I think that that is going to have more of effect than anything. Because a movie or a show with like a few woke moments in it probably isn't going to negatively affect it. Look, we can look at Dark Phoenix, right? That definitely had some woke moments, but the movie was trash, and that's why it failed. The marketing wasn't like overly woke and exclusionary, but that's what you get with Supergirl and Batwoman. If we look at Batwoman's ratings, I'm filming this on Sunday, so I'm going to guess that it's going to go down again this week. But this is a show, 1.86 million. So it opened the season higher than Supergirl, significantly higher, to be honest with you, and is currently at 0.8. So it's lost 1 million viewers. And if we just look back to last week, the 26th, that is a all-time low for the show. 1.86 million down to 670,000. That's more than 50% of your audience. Now, again, by the time Monday's ratings come out, will it be lower than 674,000? Maybe. It'll be reflected probably in the title of this video, whatever the most up-to-date numbers are. And then we've seen this article on Cosmic Book News. Batwoman Supergirl ratings see huge drop. In what comes as no surprise, but the Batwoman and Supergirl ratings continue to see huge drops. Following 2 weeks of repeats, both Batwoman and Supergirl are down significantly from previous episode numbers on January 26th, with Supergirl down significantly. Sunday's episode of Batwoman, Take Your Choice, saw 848,000 viewers tune in, down 22,000 from the previous episode. Regarding Supergirl, the previous episode had nearly 1 million fans tuning in, passing Batwoman for the first time. But Sunday's episode, Back from the Future Part 2, only saw 654,000. That's a loss of over 32%, or around 316,000 viewers. Checking in on The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, latest episode reveals rather steady numbers. 1.1 million and 753K respectively. Both Batwoman and Supergirl have seen their viewerships nosedive from the start of the season, with losses in the millions. Now, CW has already announced renewals for both shows, so for the time being, Batwoman and Supergirl are sticking around. The article continues. Batwoman has a rotten score of 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's bad. It's so bad it should be used as an example of how to not do superhero TV shows, said Fredo F. Quote, "This is honestly the most cringe-inducing show I have ever witnessed, with some of the worst dialogue, acting, and downright nonsensical plot points. It also highlights the lack of validity of the site's critics," said Sydney B. Quote, high hopes. Forced myself through 5 episodes, but no, said Adam C. Quote, "Everyone in the project mails in their effort. The result is Batwoman. Unfortunately, it's so forgettable, I won't remember how bad it is in a couple of days." How about just one more? "The actors are dry. There's no emotion in the main characters. The lesbian characters are so cliche it hurts. The imagination or coherent thought goes into the writing. No imagination, sorry. The main character feels wrong for the part. I tried watching, got through 5 episodes, hoping it would start being entertaining, and it just falls flat in every way. Allison B." Again, so where are all the "I hate woman" 0 out of 10 reviews? How about Supergirl? Season 5, currently rated at 43%. Now, this is a direct result of marketing not attacking fans and enraging people to go leave reviews when they don't watch the show. It's just bad. It had good potential, but instead of showing it, they'd rather go shallow with forced romances that nobody wants to see. Forget the previous plots and bad character development. It's messy, Rebecca S. Quote, somehow the acting is getting worse and worse. How about this one? Great potential, generally solid acting, and unfortunately incredibly poor plotting and ham-handed writing that turns it all into a convoluted mess with subtlety of a piano falling from a roof. And when we look at a lot of these other things, like, it's just, these shows continue to exist, right? Because they have the correct message. We can look at Arrow, and Arrow has been relatively consistent. It opened the season on August 1st with 840,000. Just last week, okay? I'm sorry, on the 21st of January and the week before during the crossover, it saw 1.4 million viewers and even held a new high the following week. The following week was 893,000, higher by 50,000 compared to the week before. And then on the 28th, we saw it dip down to 733,000. This is less than, maybe about a 10% drop for Arrow. And Arrow is in, what, season 8? Season 8? So Arrow doesn't seem to be having that same problem. Now, it does have some fluctuation, but their average viewership continues to remain the same. It's just curious why every major media outlet continues to write about Batwoman and Supergirl and not Arrow, which is doing just fine. Now, it should be doing better, I think. 1.2 million or, to 2 million would probably be much better viewership. But in season 8, that's pretty loyal. So it's just a perfect example of get woke, go broke. And when you're more concerned about the right thing than putting together a good show, what you get is Batwoman, and it's a disaster, one that I love cataloging on this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.
First percentage of survival.
Oh, it's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins! At least I have chicken. At least I have chicken. At least I have chicken.